You know that feeling when you truly relax? That deep, profound quietness? We all think we know what's going on. Our muscles are just letting go. But what if that's not the real story? In this explainer, we're going to dive into a pretty wild idea that deep relaxation has almost nothing to do with your muscles and everything to do with a single switch flipping inside your brain.
So let's ask the big question right up front. What is actually happening in your body when you hit that state of deep, peaceful quiet? I promise you, the answer is probably not what you're expecting. It's a lot weirder and honestly, a lot cooler. Okay, so on the one hand, you have the common belief. Relaxation is a gradual thing, right? You loosen up your shoulders, then your back, piece by piece. But the idea we're exploring today is totally different. It suggests it's not a slow unwind, but an instantaneous flip of a single neural switch that changes your entire system's operating mode, all at once.
So where's the proof for this neural switch idea? Well, it turns out if you look closely at the actual experience of deep relaxation, the whole relaxing your muscles theory just doesn't quite add up. It starts to feel a little flimsy.
Think about it. When it happens, it's not gradual. Boom, the entire system seems to shift at the exact same moment. That background static, that bodily noise, it just plummets. And here's the really weird part. You're not getting sleepy. Your mind is totally clear, totally alert. And maybe most important of all, it feels effortless. It's not something you do, it's something that happens to you. That doesn't sound like just letting your muscles go limp, does it?
So if it's not our muscles, what in the world is it? Well, this is where we get to the core idea. The source material calls it a neural mode switch. And trust me, this is a game-changing way to understand what's happening under the hood when we truly get quiet.
And here's the official definition. It's not about slowly turning down dozens of little lights in a room. It's more like walking over to the wall and flipping one giant circuit breaker. In that one instant, all the brain's background processes, constantly scanning for danger, predicting what's next, keeping everything under control, they just stand down. They go offline.
So what exactly gets turned off when you flip that switch? Well, we're talking about some of the brain's biggest energy hogs. Your reticular activating system, that's basically the brain's alarm system, it goes into a kind of standby mode. Those endless what-if loops just pause. And all that constant chatter from monitoring your posture and position, it goes quiet. Your body feels peaceful because the neural command centers that were shouting, "tense up," have suddenly gone silent. But, and this is a really big but, reaching this state of deep neural quiet isn't just a simple win. There's a catch. There's a trade-off involved, and it is absolutely crucial to understand this part. So what's the trade-off? It's this. When you turn down the volume on all that background neural static, you're also turning down the volume on the highest peaks of emotion. The most intense excitement, the biggest emotional highs, they get dialed back too. And yeah, I know at first glance that might sound like a really bad thing. Which of course leads to the most obvious and maybe scariest question. Does this mean you lose your personality? Are you basically trading your vibrancy and your passion for just a little bit of peace and quiet?
Okay, deep breath. The answer is a clear no, and this is why. Look at what actually fades on the left side. It's the noise-amplified reactions, the overthinking, the knee-jerk emotional spirals. But look at what remains on the right, your core personality, your character, your quality of judgment. In fact, some of these things can even get better.
I love this quote from the source because it just says it all. Their removal can sharpen rather than erase personal contours. Think about that for a second. It's not about becoming a blank slate. It's more like wiping the dust off a painting so you can see the true colors underneath. It's a clarification, not an erasure. But here's where the plot thickens. This state of release, of quietness, it's an incredibly powerful tool. But like any powerful tool, if you misuse it, things can go wrong. And that can lead to something called the reversal phenomenon. So, how does this reversal even happen? Well, it's when you take this state of release and you stop using it as a temporary tool, and instead you try to make it your permanent home. It becomes your new default setting, your constant baseline for everything. And the result is strange. It's not stress or anxiety. It's actually the opposite. It's a complete loss of your motivational footing, a loss of the very drive you need to get up and do things. It's a state the source describes as functional emptiness.
Now, this is so important to clarify. This is not the same as clinical depression. They are very different things.
Functional emptiness usually isn't painful. It feels like an absence of motivation. Depression, on the other hand, is a serious medical condition often characterized by the painful presence of negative feelings and thoughts. It's a critical distinction to make.
So if living in this state of quiet 24/7 is a bad idea, then what's it for? What's the right way to think about it? This brings us to the final and most important piece of the puzzle, understanding the proper role of this deep quietness. What's really fascinating is that a lot of classical wisdom traditions seem to get this intuitively. They never saw stillness as the final destination. They were all about pairing it with action. They understood the cycle. You release into quiet, then you act in the world, and then you release again. For them, silence was a place you visit to tune up. It was a reference point, not a permanent residence.
So let's just put it out there crystal clear. This state of deep quietness is not the goal. It is not the destination, and it is definitely not some ideal state that you're supposed to achieve and hold on to forever. That's just a complete misunderstanding of what it's for.
And this, right here, is the big takeaway. Quiet is a calibration point. It's like tuning a guitar. You don't just tune it once and you're done forever, right? You have to keep coming back to that perfect pitch to make sure the music you're playing isn't getting distorted and out of key. That's what quiet is. It's the reference pitch for your life. It's the tool you use to come back to center so you can engage with the world more clearly, more effectively. It's not the destination, it's the compass that helps you find your way. So, the question to leave you with is, what distortions in your own life might it help you correct?